Hello, my name's Sarah Taylor and I'm the course leader for BA Honours Makeup for Media and Performance at the Arts University in Bournemouth. I'm going to talk through all about the course for those of you that are interested in applying. First of all, a little bit of information about the Arts University itself. We've been awarded a gold standard for the Teaching Excellence Framework, which in the UK is a metric for teaching excellence. You can get a gold, a silver or a bronze, and we're very proud that we were awarded a gold, Teaching Excellence Framework, that we were awarded a gold TEF result. We've also been voted #1 creative university by Which magazine, and our BA Honours Makeup for Media and Performance course is what's known as a Skillset accredited course. Skillset are a body within the film industry in the United Kingdom, and they have awarded us this kite mark that you see here as the course is recommended as a training ground if you're interested in becoming a makeup artist in the film industry. We also have a very strong graduate employment rate, which is currently at 95%. I like to get feedback from our employers about why our students are so employable, and I'm very pleased to have received feedback from people such as Christian Mallet. Christian is very well known in the UK as being a top prosthetic makeup artist, and he's won awards along with Jan Saul for films such as The Theory of Everything, and he's also worked on Bridget Jones's Baby, and he also worked on the film doing prosthetics for Les Miserables. He's employed some of our graduates and he's very pleased with their work. Here we have Sandra Smith, and she's head of wigs and makeup at the Royal Shakespeare Theatre in Stratford-upon-Avon, and she's also employed our graduates recently in the wigs and makeup department there. Our honorary fellow is Nick Dudman, and if you've watched any of the Harry Potter film series, you'll be familiar with his work. He's worked on other things such as Willow, Interview with a Vampire, and The Fifth Element. And he's our honorary fellow, which means that he's a real champion of BA Honours Makeup for Media and Performance. And this year he's employed 6 graduates who are working with him in Prague on a film for Amazon, on a TV series for Amazon, which is called Carnival Row. The course was very pleased to be to receive a write-up in a magazine that's very well known in the UK for makeup artists, which is called Wall Paint. And I was interviewed by Julia Townend, who writes articles in there about where to get a good education in makeup. And I was really honoured that she wrote about our course as the top place to train in the UK. We've also received quite a lot of promotion from a magazine called The Stage, which is a magazine which is all about theatre, whether you're looking for work in theatre or whether you want to read a review about a West End show or a production in rep theatre. And so we were very pleased again to be promoted in that magazine as a really good place to train in the UK. We also keep in touch with our graduates, and Kelly Willis is someone who I taught quite a number of years ago now when I first started teaching, and she's currently working on The Late Show in the USA, so there are great opportunities for employment. So the course is BA Honours Makeup for Media and Performance. It's at the Arts University Bournemouth, which is where it's validated, and it's a 3-year full-time course. Our students are expected to work about 40 hours a week on their studies, and that's made up of various different exercises. It may be that students are attending workshops, that they're in lectures, that they're in tutorial sessions, but also that there is an element of private study and research time within that week. If you already have an IELTS score of 6 with 5.5 in each component, you can automatically apply for our BA Honours Makeup for Media and Performance. If you don't yet have that, you can apply for to come to Bournemouth. You can apply to become to start again. If you don't yet have that score, you can apply to the Arts University Bournemouth, having a score of 5.5 and 5 in each component. And take on a pre-sessional course at the Arts University Bournemouth. And the duration of the course is different depending on what IELTS score you already have. You'll need to send us digital portfolio of your creative work. And that's for me to have a look at to then decide whether or not to offer you a place on the course. We are looking for an art portfolio. A lot of people tend to think that we are expecting a makeup portfolio, but actually it's your creative art and design skills that we're looking for initially. On the website, there is a portfolio guidelines section which explains in great detail about what you need to put into your portfolio for selection for interview. Here's some examples of some of the work that I've looked at that people have sent to me in their portfolios. You can see there's a range of life drawing. So we like to see that you're curious about faces, about the body, that you have a genuine interest, because you'll be working on people's faces and people's bodies all the time as a makeup artist. Sculpture work, three-dimensional work, particularly if you're interested in prosthetics, that's really important that you have a good understanding of three-dimensional work. We like to see painting, sketchbooks. Sketchbooks are really important so that we can see how you've approached problem solving. You've been given a task to start with, and then you're thinking, well, what am I going to develop out of this? So it's your problem solving, your creative applications of skill, the process that you've gone from the beginning of the project to what the final outcome has become. A sample of your writing is really important. Again, it might be an essay, it may be an evaluation you want to send to us. And then, of course, we like to see that you have some understanding and interest for makeup itself. It might be that you've done work on yourself or that you've worked on others, perhaps in amateur productions, but where you've got a keen interest in makeup, hair and prosthetics. Please send us anything in your portfolio that you've researched or that you may have tried out through technical makeup. This is our course philosophy. Our course asks the question, what is makeup? Why do we apply it? What does it symbolise to an audience? And how do they read that? And we look at that from all the different perspectives and contexts for makeup. So whether it's for television, for film, for theatre, fashion. And also, we try to think that at some point our students, when they go into industry, will innovate, will change the way things are done in industry. So rather than tell you a way of doing something and say this is the correct way to do this, we want you to explore ideas in makeup and perhaps come up with an even better idea for how technical process might be done in the industry. We have three main course aims. Our first aim is all about employability, that ability to get employment on completion of the course. Our second aim is that you'll be introduced to our creative community. You'll work with like-minded creative people, because makeup needs to be seen in a context, whether it's for film, theatre or fashion. The third aim for the course really challenges kind of perceptions of how authentic your work can be when it's being filmed in high definition, or whether it's something burlesque for a fashion show. You'll always have that idea of historical and contemporary context clashing, and somehow as a makeup artist you've got to make it believable to your audience. Within the course we have something called Specialist Named Awards. When you go into your third year, you can opt to either have this outcome. Okay, I'm going to start that again. The course has Specialist Named Awards within it. As you work through the course, you can graduate with what we call the parent title, which is BA Honours Makeup for Media and Performance. Or depending on the direction that your projects take in the third year, you may choose to specialise in one of three Specialist Named Awards, which is either hair and makeup for fashion, prosthetic makeup effects, or hair and makeup for stage, TV, film. Okay. Hair and makeup for stage, TV, film. So the course is very student-focused because it enables you to develop your own projects and consider where you want to target your career for the future. In the UK, if you're coming to a makeup course at university level, there is a kit to buy, which is on top of the. Okay. If you're applying to a makeup course in the UK at university level, there is a makeup kit to buy. The kit enables you to be able to create all the projects you need to within the first and second year of the course. And in the third year, our students budget their own projects, and that's because they're specialising in the particular field that interests them. The kits are very expensive to buy, so it's very important that I'm transparent about that, because it is quite a large investment for students on the course. Our studios are fantastic. We have 3 makeup studios on campus, and the studios have been designed very much as you would have in a television studio. So we have 23 workstations with the ability to go to 31. We have, you can see under here, we've got location mirror stations which are portable, so that enables us to accommodate a substantial amount of people if we were doing something like a film shoot. The studios have hood dryers within them, they have a full ventilation and extraction system within them, and we also have ports on each of the workstations, so that if you're using compressors and airbrushing people's faces, you can connect into a main compressor rather than carry around heavy compressors with you. So we have 3 studios on the first floor of what we call A block, which is where the course is situated. On the ground floor, we have other facilities, other specialist workshops available to students, particularly for those that might be doing body painting or life casting. So we have a private room, a life casting room that you can book, where if you want to do body painting, or you need people to become take off their clothes because you're doing body casts, you can do that really discreetly and privately in our casting room. We also have a plaster room so that students can make plaster moulds. We have a resin room. We also have okay. We also have can't say this. Okay. I'm just going to stop. Hang on. Sorry. I need to think about this. Okay. Yeah, okay. We also have facilities for spraying prosthetics. So we have a spray booth room, and we also do a lot of work in prosthetics with foam latex. So we have a room that houses our foam latex ovens that you can see just here. These are just some examples to show you of the kind of work that students do throughout their 3 years on BA Honours Makeup for Media and Performance. You can see by the work that it's very diverse, and it starts to show you really how the specialisms work, so that you can see that some of the examples that you're looking at would be hair and makeup for stage TV film, hair and makeup for fashion, or prosthetic makeup effects. Some of the images are in the studio. Some of the images have been photographed by our BA Honours photography students, and certainly some of the theatre productions obviously appear in the live context. We have a large team working of academics and technician demonstrators on the course. So there's 14 of us altogether. I was just going to show you my academic team, which we come from various different aspects within the industry. So my background is very much theatre at the Royal Shakespeare Company and in the West End. Caroline worked as a BBC makeup designer, so her background is very much film and television. Amanda Stevenson is our contextual studies lecturer. She teaches students how to problem solve and develop their academic writing. She teaches critical theory. We look at aspects of identity, because that's what we're doing. We're changing the way we look, appearance, how women have been represented in film and television. So she's looking at gender, race, and our perceptions of that. Jess Barber is someone who graduated from our course quite a few years ago, and we're delighted she's come back to teach with us. So she's one of our lecturers. So her professional credentials are as a wig maker, working at the wig store, but she's also worked for Bobby Brown, and she's also worked on a TV series called She's also worked on a TV series called Call the Midwife, which is very popular in the UK. Kat is one of our fashion-based makeup lecturers. She also runs her own bridal business, so very often students will go and help her with her bridal shoots. Laura's background is also fashion, so again, you can see by her credentials, she's worked on programmes like Britain's Got Talent and The X Factor, and done a lot of fashion promotional shoots. Wayne is our prosthetic lecturer, and he originally started out doing remedial prosthetics for people who had perhaps lost their arm, and now he's working with us, so he's taken his skill and moved it into film and television. He's also a sculptor, and he also teaches ZBrush, digital design for makeup. I think it's very important that students' education is enriched by having people from industry dropping in to do guest workshops and guest lectures. And we're very lucky that over the past 10 years we've built up quite a significant amount of guest speakers who impact very much on how the industry runs at the moment. Because we have the skill set accreditation, I was approached by BAFTA. BAFTA are the British Academy for Film and Television. Because we had the skill set accreditation, they wanted to offer us one of their educational lecture series. And we were really lucky to secure Ivana Primorak, who came to talk to students about how you research as a makeup artist, and an innovative lecture about preparing students for industry. She's recently worked on The Darkest Hour, which is winning lots of awards back at home. We're very lucky that students have also entered competitions and had some excellent results. The Wall Paint Makeup Championship is in Manchester, in North England. The National Makeup Awards is in Birmingham, and the National Awards is in Birmingham, and the Brush Wars fashion makeup competition is in London. So nationally we have a lot of competition winners. The USP of the course is collaboration and how we work alongside other courses to make exciting projects together. We collaborate with acting, with commercial photography, costume and performance design, dance, fashion, film, visual effects, and we've also been known to collaborate with fine art. These are some examples of the kind of work we have done with other courses. So this was Candide, which is Voltaire. It's an 18th century story. And we worked with costume and performance design and acting to do this improvised performance on the campus. Here you can see we bought really cheap synthetic wigs that you can buy off the internet, and we took them apart, so we deconstructed them and then reconstructed them to make these really fantastic shapes, but they were very cheap to produce. This was a pop video that we made. It's a vampire project, as you can see. We filmed it down at the beach in Bournemouth. So we had vampires on the beach, but unfortunately it was the hottest day of the year. So we had our vampires fainting. So makeup artists were looking after their actors and actresses on the beach. It's quite difficult for continuity with makeup because of the fact that it was so warm. This was a film that we made, The Glass Slipper. It's recounting the tale of Cinderella, and we did this with film and with costume and performance design. And this film so this is first years working together, and this film won a Fresh Award, so we have an award-winning film for our first year's work. Some more examples of collaboration so that you can see how passionate we are about students working together as they would in industry. Work experience is a really important part of the course, and most of our students go on work experience in the second year and in their third year. By that time you've got a really good skill base, so employers will be very keen to have a second or third year work with them. These are some students who did a work experience at Millennium Effects in London, where they were making some really large moulds for the Eddie Head for the Iron Maiden concert. Our students also take part in fashion shows, so at the Truman Brewery in London, and also the Bournemouth Fashion Show. Our third year's design, and our third year's design the show for Bournemouth Fashion Show, along with the BA Honours fashion students. We have 8 productions a year, live performances, and that collaboration is with costume and with acting. And we have a theatre on campus called the Studio Theatre, which is where some of the productions happen. But they're not always on campus. So we also have productions running at Pavilion Dance, which is right in the centre of Bournemouth, and also at the Lighthouse Theatre in Poole. The collaborations enable third-year students in makeup to design wigs, hair and makeup for the shows, but also first years and second years can assist the designers throughout the production. So our students actually set up their own hair and makeup department during the productions. Our third year's exhibition, as they come to the end of their course, is in London. I'll do that again, I've got something in my eye. Our third year, sorry. Our third year, oh, fine, thank you. Our third year exhibition towards the end of their study is at the International Makeup Trade Show in London. It's at the the Olympia Hall, and it's attended by between 9,000 and 11,000 enthusiasts, employers, and it provides such a brilliant platform for our students to be able to demonstrate their makeup skills on the Arts University stand. We also have various trips throughout the course. During the first week of term with the first years, we usually go and see a production in London, and students might start to review, to critique production and performances. We also organise a New York trip, which happens biannually, and that enables students to consider their work opportunities on an international scale. This is more people who contribute to our provision. So again, guest speakers coming from Illamasqua. That was really interesting because they talked about the branding of cosmetics and what their target market is. This is Christian Mallet again, who regularly contributes to the course, who did some really interesting prosthetics looking at flat pieces and how you integrate them really well. This is John Moore, who is someone that I taught many years ago, but it just shows the extent to which you can... start again. So this is John Moore. John Moore was one of my graduates from quite a few years ago, but he's done incredibly well in the industry. You'll probably have seen Guardians of the Galaxy. They've made Volume 1 and Volume 2 now, and he's one of the makeup supervisors. I'll do that again, sorry. He's one of the makeup supervisors for Drax the Destroyer, Dave Bautista, that he makes up, that has to sit through quite an arduous, long process of having all these flat pieces put on him to become Drax the Destroyer. MAC Cosmetics, obviously the top seller internationally. So MAC come in and do demonstrations. This time Cher Webb came in. And that was really interesting because she does a lot of the international fashion shows, Paris, New York, London. And she talked about actually how exhausting it was to live that kind of lifestyle that sounds really glamorous. This is Gilles. Gilles he comes from France. He's a foam latex expert. He's worked on lots of films, but he particularly focuses on foam latex, running foam latex pieces. And he comes in to teach our students all about foam. So finally, you can see here where our graduates have gone on to work. You can also see that they specialise in the different areas that I talked about earlier in this presentation. So we have students that have gone on to work in film. In fact, on Fantastical Beasts, The Crime of Grindelwald, we've had graduates working on the production, but we've also had some of our second years on work experience as well on the production. In television, Coronation Street has been running in the UK. It's Coronation Street has been running in the UK for nearly 50 years, and one of our graduates applied from 500 people who applied for the job, and she was chosen as the new makeup trainee on Coronation Street. Students also have gone on to work in different aspects of the fashion industry with cosmetic companies or working on as freelancers. Students have also gone on to work in wig departments and with wig makers, with some prestigious companies such as the English National Opera and the Royal Shakespeare Company in the UK, but also on theatrical musical productions such as Miss Saigon and Hairspray. Other students have graduated and gone on to work in mould-making companies that produce prosthetics rather than apply them to actors. We've had students working with Nick Dubman at the Harry Potter studio tour at Leavesden Studios, where they've been remaking some of the prosthetics for the public to see. And students have also graduated, gone on to work at Madame Tussauds, where they're painting the waxworks and inserting hair. I hope that's given you a really good view of what our course is like and answered many of your questions for those of you applying to BA Honours Makeup for Media and Performance. Good luck, and I look forward to seeing you at AUB.